Alright, you ready?
I'm ready.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright.
Alright, so right off the bat, I want to let everyone know this is a beta build. This is not finished, so it's not a finished product, so everything's subject to change. And also, this is a Hat in Time, if you don't know already. It's a 3D collectathon platformer in the style of older N64 and GameCube games. And as you can see, it does borrow a lot of elements from the games, and I think it does that wonderfully. If you're familiar with Super Mario Sunshine, you'll see a couple elements that you may recognize. So what Daniel just did with the robot is that he's getting in front of it and allowing it to just go ahead and defeat it already. And it's not the way you're intended to do it, but it's a quick way to do it, and it's how we do it in speedruns. There's also a pretty cool trick where you can do right here, where you can skip a cutscene here, and it does save a couple seconds, and it is pretty random. There's only a couple frame window, and if you spam the button, it is possible to get it. Although it is kind of unlikely, and it kind of depends on a couple other things as well. Even though this is a beta build, the community for this game is actually quite strong. On speedrun.com, we do have about 30 people running the game, and that's pretty cool, especially for a beta. And what Daniel the Badge just got, that allows him to float up into the air, and that is required for a couple levels in the game. And the speedrun community for this game has been around since the alpha build, ever since last year, and ever since beta came out, it's gotten really strong, and we have a lot of people running it, like I said before. Also, there's a pretty cool trick you can do here, which Daniel wasn't able to do due to like controller issues. It's a trick where you can hold up during the loading screen. If you do that, you can get under the level and go straight to the loading zone of one of the secret missions. But since he didn't get that, he's going to be doing another mission, which is the mini boss battle. And it's been around since alpha, nothing much has changed about it when it came into beta. And it is pretty fun and interesting. It has some pretty neat dialogue.
No child will be in the way of the mafia. You can jump. Heads up, little punk!
Also in this section, nothing much really happens, just avoid the barrels and just try your best not to die.
See if girl can handle this barrel. Do not think about avoiding barrels.
And also at this part, there's a pretty cool trick you can do. If you fly up into the air high enough, you can actually end the boss battle without doing anything, although it is pretty difficult to do and doesn't happen all the time. And what Daniel did just there is that he skipped a little bit of a cutscene, and it does save some game time. And if you go into the pause menu and go back to hub, and you have that menu open while you get the hourglass, you can go ahead and go back to the menu after you get the hourglass without watching the cutscene. This is about maybe a 30-second time saver, and that saves quite a lot of time. As you can see, he did execute the trick properly, and he was able to get under the level onto the ceiling of the level below and walk straight to the loading zone. Also, shoutouts to Catbag. Also, for this level, there's a trick called First Cycle that we use. It is pretty difficult, you have to move pretty fast, but if you do, you can get onto the level, you can get onto the spinning platform from SMS a lot earlier, and it does save quite a couple seconds, so it is definitely beneficial in 8%, as well as this category. So now this mission is one of the favorites among the community, and it has some great dialogue. And you're going to be seeing a very cool trick being used in the boss battle here that I think everyone will enjoy and think it's interesting.
Mafia take not kindly to intruders.
And since it's a speedrun, the story's not really described. Here's kind of a summary of it. Hat Kid's on a spaceship, the main character you're seeing right now, and she's attempting to return to her parents. And the Mafia decides, a Mafia guy from Earth, climbs into space and breaks into her spaceship and causes all the air to break out, which also takes out all her timepieces, which she uses as fuel for the ship. And the main mission of the game is to get all the timepieces back and go home. And also the badge that Daniel got a while back is the Speed Boots badge, which allows him to run much faster and is utilized in a couple missions, and is one of the fastest, not the fastest way of movement around the game.
Away with you! Supercharged! Ouch! Ouch! Ow! Ow! Ouch! Ouch!
And also we do have a live split auto splitter for this game, which is also incorporated into the main game itself, made by Cry's, which is pretty cool. And since this is a PC game, we do need to take out the one's computer's not the same and that kind of stuff.
Ouch! Ouch! You're no match for me! Ouch!
And as you can see, Daniel did perform the skip correctly. If you go inside the Mafia boss's hitbox and attack at all, he will combust and explode, and it causes the mission to end. And that saves about maybe a minute or two, depending on how well the fight goes.
Get ready.
Also, nothing much really goes on in this mission, just have really fast movements, use your speed boots, and sometimes the cat will get stuck on something and you can just go ahead and finish the race automatically no matter what. And yeah, if you have fast movement, you can do this fine. Nothing really special in this level. And also in this mission, you'll see a pretty cool trick that we use often 80% N in this category that is, can be very shocking at first, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so Daniel did execute the trick properly, and I might as well go ahead and explain it. If you stop at a certain point, the game will store that location, and after that you need to get into a state of void warp. So where your character is infinitely falling. The game has no idea what to do with your character, so it'll just put it back the last place you stopped. And since the last place you stopped is really close to where you need to be, you can just go ahead and abuse that by going and stopping, control where you stop, and then go ahead and execute the void warp like so. And it's also called pepperoni pizza within the community as well, which is pretty neat. As for this level, it's pretty linear. There's one skip at the very end that's kind of small, but besides that, just go ahead and move fast and move your way around the level. And also this next level right here is actually one of my favorites. It's Subcon Caves, and it has a very neat aesthetic, and then the gameplay is also pretty neat. And you'll also see a return of a weapon you may be familiar with if you're into The Legend of Zelda. And also, just to let everyone know, you can pre-order the beta build right now. You can get this build right now on ahatintime.com/preorder. And it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. I highly recommend getting it if you're into games like Mario or Legend of Zelda, that kind of stuff. It is a very good buy. I've gotten many hours of enjoyment out of this, and I think everyone should play it in my opinion. It's a very great game.
The Twitch stream Hayaii Kawaii officially endorses Hat in Time.
And this next level here is pretty famous for having really random elements, which speedrunners do not like that much. It's a pretty fun level casually, and I recommend you play it if you do get a hat in time. But there are some elements which can frustrate runners in this next level here, which I will explain once we get to that. But for now, Daniel's going to be doing one of the secret levels located in this, which is located inside of a pipe. And it's one of my more favorite secret levels, in my opinion, so it's pretty neat. So this level is called Queen Vanessa's Manor, and it's a spooky level, and it can be pretty scary the first time you play, but we're going to be skipping some things that will make it a lot faster. And it is the longest level in the speedrun of about 4 minutes or so on average. So in this level, there's a person named Queen Vanessa who's constantly chasing after you, and you have to run away from her, along with doing some other objectives as well, so it can be pretty difficult casually. So what Daniel's doing here is he's going to be skipping the first puzzle, or speeding it up most likely, and we like to use Roach for this, because the goal is to get the piano down on the floor by crashing it down, and doing so, a Roach will spawn, and that will let you know if the piano is ready to be dropped. So we do like to make Roach jokes a lot, so Roach hype in chat, please. It actually took us a while to find out what controlled the Roach, and it actually was I believe it was discovered by Fives, one of the runners of the game, and it varies on Vanessa's position in the game, and that can be random at times, but it is pretty consistent if you have a right strat. So this floor is kind of one of the more random floors of the game. It does have some elements that can either really speed up your run or really kill it. And I will go into those as we get along. And so there's a couple minor skips here, like where Daniel jumps into the bookcase to get the key immediately. you would first have to press a button in the other room, but this saves time by just flying up there normally. And you're also meant to get the shadow into the other rooms, press the switches in there and do so, but if you just put it in the same room and have the light switch on and make it go at a certain time, you can just completely skip the rest of the puzzle and complete it almost immediately. But there is a second part here, and it's pretty simple. It really is simple. Just press 2 switches, and within like maybe 10 seconds, the puzzle is complete and we can return to the third section of this. And also there's a element right here that can be, we've been trying to figure out how it works. We sort of have an idea how it works, but sometimes Queen Vanessa will get stuck on the stairs, allowing you to go into the hallway immediately and go to the next room. But sometimes she'll get into the hallway and you'll have to chase her around normally. But thanks to speed strats, we can go ahead and jump on the dresser here and you can just jump right over her and go straight to the room. It's not faster than having her on the stairs, but once we figure out how to control that, we can have it happen. And now Daniel will be doing the secret level for Vanessa's mansion, which is also pretty cool. It's been around since the prototype days, and it's personally one of my favorite levels in the game. So for secret levels in general, not really much tricks, just have fast movement and go ahead and complete the level. But in the alpha build of the game, we used to have a trick called X jumping, which allowed us to jump up walls infinitely, but Jonas, the game's creator, patched it in beta, so we're not able to use it anymore. But we're still able to complete the levels pretty quickly, just not as fast as alpha. And also the next level coming up is a favorite among many. It's called Trainwreck of Science. And it's a pretty fast-paced level, so if you're into that, it'll be a pretty neat watch. Can we get some boop hype in the chat?
2 minutes, 0 seconds until self-destruct. Oh no.
So for this level, we do have a couple skips that we use that do help out speed up the level, but for the first couple cars here, nothing really much. Besides for just fast movement tricks and stuff. So here what Daniel's doing now is he's skipping a portion of platform spawning. He would have to climb up to the rock normally. That takes time, so why not skip it? So we can just grab onto the hook shots using our hook shots already and go ahead and skip that part and save some time. So in this portion, there's a skip here where you can skip a couple puzzles, which does save some time. It's also pretty neat as well. So what he does is climb to the cannon, get on the door, get on the window frame, just walk over to the final car or the final door. So this next level here is actually the biggest secret level of them all, and it's actually pretty neat. Has some cool elements to it that make it pretty difficult at first. And there are some pretty cool skips in it as well. And yes, the in-game timer at the top of the screen is Live Split actually. The game developers reached out to Cry's and incorporated his auto splitter into the vanilla game. And you can enable it in the options as well, so you don't even need Live Split if you don't want to. Although I would recommend getting it if you do speedruns. And what's also cool is it has an IL timer, which is what we use to time ILs in a Hat in Time. And yes, this is a personal best by Daniel. So that's about it for the run, really. That's all there is to all timepieces. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And also, I don't think I introduced myself. I am Konasumi. I run the game as well. And yeah, thank you, Daniel, for having me co-commentate the run, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been super fun.
Alright, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on the PB, Daniel.
Thanks.
Alright, up next is Dr. Chops with Judge Dredd versus Def Any %.